Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to open our projects folder, and I'm going to right click and basically open a new terminal at the folder. Okay, and then I'm just going to do cd dot dot and ls. Okay, so this is where we want to be, basically at the root directory where you have your XC project set up, or the file visible. So just do ls and you will actually find out. So let me see if we can see this. Okay, all right, so once again, let me clear. We're going to do ls to make sure we are at the root of the directory where we have our project listed and our xcode project file listed. Okay, and here we're going to do pod init. Okay, before doing pod init, if you're not familiar with the Cocoa pod, go ahead and search for Cocoa pod inside Google and go through the installation process. But I'm pretty sure like you guys are are aware of that, so I'm not gonna go into that. By the way, pod, I already have pod installed, that's why I was able to just do that. Now once you have pod install configured, you will be able to do the same thing. Just pod init and it'll create a pod file in your folder. Okay, now we're gonna actually modify this pod file, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply say vi pod file. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and add two of the pods. Okay, so first one is gonna be pod for realm swift. This is basically for to add support for realm database. Okay, and pod shimmer swift. Go ahead and look these pods up to get to learn a bit more about them. So yeah, these are the pod names, and you should be able to, if you search pod realm swift or pod shimmer swift, you should be able to find the documentation for those. All right, with those two pods added, I'm gonna escape and press shift Z twice to save the file, and I'm gonna do pod install. Okay, what this is going to do is it's going to download all the dependencies and install those dependencies. Now this project is not going to be the one that we're going to be using, as it states here that two other dependencies have installed, and close all the current session and use the XC workspace file. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say open dot to show you what the current new structure is. So if you notice, there's a pods folder that is created where we have all the pod related dependencies. There's a podlock file indicating what versions of pods you have installed. You have this xcode project file which was created, which we were working on, but the new file that workspace is created, which is gonna have reference to these pods. So let's go ahead and open that one. Okay, and I'm going to close this folder, and there we have it. So this is our XC project. Okay, and if you notice, our pods are there. This is our pod file, and we already have this pod file added, and both of our pods are listed there. Okay, now what we're gonna do is before we actually before we do anything, let's go ahead and give it a run to make sure that there is no issue, or build error or anything like that that is happening, and then we're gonna start working towards our project. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a minute, like a few seconds, not a minute, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video and come back when the build is finished. All right, so it took about 20 seconds to build. First build is definitely gonna take a little bit time because you are adding a new dependency and all the binaries have to be compiled. But there we go. We have our project created and it's actually launched inside iPod Touch, which is fine. I'm gonna stop that and I'm gonna actually change this to launch on iPad, or sorry, iPhone 12 Pro Max. Okay, I'm gonna close this one. All right, so let me go ahead and launch it here. Okay, there we go. So everything seems to be working fine. Yeah, okay, awesome. So we have our project ready to go. Now in the next video, what we're going to do is once we have our realm setup ready to go, we're gonna first work on our models. And models are basically where we're gonna create our run model, and it's gonna represent our realm database, and we're gonna write some realm database related properties there, like to add, run, and to get all the runs and stuff like that, some helper functions, and that is going to help us like contain all the database related stuff inside one file. And similarly, we're going to create another one for a location, to save the location where user is running. That way, we're gonna have both of those models ready for us to use inside the realm database. Okay,